Morning, my dear students. Welcome to our science class. So we have been discussing about digestion in human beings, isn't it? Yes. So in our last class we have discussed about the major parts in the alimentary canal. So which are the major parts that we have discussed in last class? Mouth or buccal cavity, esophagus, and stomach, isn't it? Yes. So what are the things that include in mouth? Teeth, then tongue, then salivary gland, isn't it? So we have discussed it, what are the functions of teeth, functions of tongue, and also the functions of salivary gland also, isn't it? Salivary gland produce a enzyme known as saliva, which converts starch in the food into sugars for easy digestion, isn't it? Then we have discussed about esophagus, isn't it? Esophagus, or otherwise called as food pipe, isn't it? So this is the path through which the food is getting to the stomach from the buccal cavity, isn't it? Then what is the movement? A movement named as peristalsis or peristaltic movement. Through this movement, what will happen? Yes, the food is pushed down into our stomach, isn't it? Then we have discussed about vomiting, that is anti-peristaltic movement. Yes. Then we just come to stomach, the third part of the digestive system, that is stomach. We have discussed about the shape and structure of the stomach. What's that? Flattened U or J shaped. Then it is a thick walled bag. It has an outer wall and an inner wall. And we have discussed that yes, that's the inner wall of the stomach has mainly three secretions. Which are they? Mucus, HCl, and some digestive juices, isn't it? And mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach, and HCl, what HCl do? Yes, HCl kills the bacteria in the food items. Then digestive juices, what they do? Yes, digestive juices, they convert the protein into simpler substances. That all we have discussed in our last class. Okay. So now in this class we are going to the remaining portion in the digestive system, that is small intestine, large intestine, and rectum and anus. Okay, let us have a look. So let us start with small intestine. So small intestine. Small intestine is the highly coiled part. Small intestine is the highly coiled part. What do you mean by coiled? Just like this, isn't it? Highly coiled part of our body, that is small intestine. If it is coiled, its length is 7.5 meter long, isn't it? So 7.5 meter long. Small intestine has how much length? 7.5 meter long, and it is the highly coiled part of our body. Okay. Then it receives bile juice from liver, and pancreatic juice from pancreas. So we have said in the case while we are discussing about secretory glands which helping in the digestion, we have discussed about liver and pancreatic juice. Did you remember that? Yes. So liver secrete a juice named as bile. And pancreas secrete a juice named as pancreatic juice, which helps in digestion. So where the bile juice and pancreatic juice reach? Yes, the liver secrete bile juice and pancreas secrete pancreatic juice. Both reaches the small intestine. Okay, both reaches the small intestine. Besides that, whenever that pancreas and liver produces juices, besides that, the wall of the small intestine itself produce some digestive juices. Okay. So what we can say, wall of the small intestine itself produces some digestive juices. We can discuss who are all the supporters for small intestine to function, that is liver. First one is liver. So hope you see the picture of the liver in the digestive system, isn't it? The PDF I have sent, there you can see the digestive system and you know the about liver. Okay, now let us look. So what is the color of liver? The color of liver is reddish brown in color, reddish brown color. And where it is placed? It is placed at the right upper side of the abdomen. Hope you know which is our abdomen part, and where it is placed? Liver is placed on the right side. Liver is placed in the right upper side of our abdomen. Then it is the largest gland in the human body. That also I have said you first class, which is that liver is the largest gland in the human body. This is very important point. Liver is the largest gland in the human body. Then liver secrete a digestive juice called as bile juice. What is the name? Bile. Liver secretes a digestive juice called as bile juice, isn't it? And this bile juice is stored. This bile juice is stored in a sac called gallbladder. In a sac called gallbladder. So, who secrete bile juice? Liver. And where it is stored? It is stored in the gallbladder. Gallbladder is just a sac-like structure. Okay. So bile juice is secreted by liver and it is stored in the gallbladder. Whenever it is used, it is secreted or it is ejected by the gallbladder. Okay. Now next, what is the use or what is the function of the bile that we are going to understand? Bile plays important role in the digestion of fats. Understood? Bile plays important role in the digestion of fats. So we have discussed that digestion of starch. Where it is happened? Digestion of starch is happened in buccal cavity. What happened? Yes, the starch is converted into sugars, isn't it? Yes. Then we have discussed in stomach. What happens in stomach? Proteins. Proteins is converted into simpler substances within the stomach. And here what's happening? Yes, fat. Fat is also a nutrient. That fat is converted, or the digestion of fat is happens in where? Small intestine with the help of bile juice. Hope you understand the thing we have discussed about liver. We can look to the other gland in our body, that is pancreas. So pancreas is another gland in our body. So it is color is cream color. What is the color? Cream colored. It is cream colored gland. It is a cream colored gland. And where it is located? It is located just below the stomach. Located just below the stomach, and it secretes pancreatic juice. What is the secretion of pancreas? Pancreatic juice. Okay. Now, what is the function of pancreatic juice? Yes, pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, fats, proteins. Okay. Pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, fats, proteins and convert it into simpler forms. We have said digestion. The process of digestion gets completes in the small intestine. There is one more process happening inside the small intestine, that is absorption. You know what is absorption? Here absorption means the components of digested food absorbed into the blood vessels in intestinal walls. We know that intestine, when you consider intestine has both the outer wall and the inner wall, isn't it? And both the inner wall, and it is made up of so many blood vessels. Isn't it? So many blood vessels. And what we can say? So when the absorbed food get into after digestion, what will happen? Yes, the digested food get absorbed into the blood vessels, isn't it? So in the walls we can see so many blood vessels here. So the digested food components get absorbed into the blood vessels. Understood? And there are some, you can see some finger-like projection. Can you see some finger-like projection? It is similar to our fingers, isn't it? Some finger-like projection you can see in the inner wall of the small intestine. So you consider this is the, when we cut the small intestine and we have a piece like this, isn't it? And the inner wall of the small intestine is consist of so many finger-like projections, isn't it? So many finger-like projections, and these finger-like projection helps in the absorption. Understood? These finger-like projection helps in the absorption of food materials or components of food into blood vessels. Understood? So what the process of absorption means? Yes, the components in digested food absorbed into the blood vessels in the walls of the intestine. And who helps for absorption? Yes, in the inner wall of the small intestine we can see some finger-like projections. It is important, finger-like projections. Some finger-like projection you can see in the inner walls of the small intestine, and these are named as villi. What is its name? Villi. VILLI. So some finger-like projection in the, we can see in the small intestine is called as villi. These villi helps in absorption. We have discussed about small intestine. Next, we are going to look what are the process happening in the small intestine. Now, the partly digested food reaches your small intestine, isn't it? Partly digested food. How can we say that it's partially digested food? Yes, because in stomach the half part digestion is completed within the stomach. So we can say that a partly digested food. So that partly digested food from the stomach reaches small intestine, isn't it? And in the small intestine, what's happening there? Yes, there are some bile juice, pancreatic juice, and also some intestinal juice. Also some intestinal juice. So along with that, what is happening, that the digestion gets complete. Understood? Digestion gets completed in the small intestine. Understand? That's the main point. Where the digestion completes? Digestion completes or digestion ends within the small intestine. Where the digestion starts? Digestion starts from our mouth or buccal cavity and it ends in the small intestine. Now we can say what are the digestion. We have said that what digestion is. What is digestion? Yes, it is the breakdown of complex components of food into simpler ones, isn't it? So we are just going to discussing, we have discussed about some nutrients, carbohydrates, fats, then proteins, etc. So how they are digesting, let us look. So carbohydrates in the food, carbohydrates in the food is converted into sugars. Carbohydrates in the food is converted into sugars like glucose. Glucose is a sugar, like so many sugars are there, fructose, lactose, so many sugars are there. That all you can study in your higher classes. So carbohydrates in the food get converted into sugars like glucose. Okay, then fats in the food is converted into fatty acids plus glycerol. Fats in the food gets converted into fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, then proteins in our food is converted into amino acids. Understand? You know that where these are occurring. The carbohydrates or starch is converted into sugars within our mouth with the help of salivary gland, isn't it? And fat is converted into fatty acids and glycerol with the help of bile juice, isn't it? And proteins, how proteins converted into amino acids? Proteins is converted into amino acids by the help of some juices present in the stomach, isn't it? So we have been discussed about how or where the digestion of the different components of food is happening. Hope you understand about small intestine. The components of the digested food get absorbed into the blood vessels by the help of villi present in the inner surface or inner walls of the small intestine. Okay, now we are just going to look into what is happening within the cells. The blood is absorbing all the components of our food, isn't it? And what does blood do with these components? Yes, the blood transports. Blood what do? Yes, the blood transport all these components into different our body organs. Transport into the different organs of our body, isn't it? And we have seen that our body is consist of many cells, isn't it? And within the cells, what is happening with these components of food, that is we can look. So within the cells, the absorbed components reach different organs through blood. Understood? Any doubt? Absorbed components reach different organs through blood. And what's happening there now? Within the cells, the simpler components through digestion, what's happening? Complex substances is converted into simpler substances. So these simpler substances is absorbed by the blood, isn't it? So within the cell, what is happening to the simpler substances or simpler components? These simpler components are built to make complex substances. Understood? The simpler components are built to make complex substance like proteins, carbohydrates, fats, etc. And this process is called as assimilation. This process is called as assimilation. So what is assimilation? Within the cells, the simpler components of food used to build complex substances called assimilation. So we have seen that digestion is the process of breakdown of complex substances into simpler substances, and assimilation is the process in which simpler substances are used to build to make complex substances. Understood? So both are opposite, isn't it? Digestion wants to do, it's break down the complex substances, and what assimilation do? Yes, in the process of assimilation, small simple components are built to make complex or big structure complex components, and this process is called as assimilation. Okay, now what is happening into undigested and unabsorbed food? The undigested and unabsorbed food goes to large intestine. Understood? Undigested and unabsorbed food goes to large intestine. So we have seen that our digestion gets completes in the small intestine, and along with the completion of digestion, small intestine also undergoes to the absorption, isn't it? And absorption is the process happening in the small intestine, and assimilation is the process happening in the in our cells, isn't it? So next we can look to large intestine. We can move to large intestine. So large intestine is wider and shorter. Large intestine is wider and shorter than small intestine, and it is length. Its length is about 1.5 meter long. What is the length of small intestine? Yes, it is 7.5 meter long, but in the case of large intestine, its length is 1.5 meter long. And what is its function? The function of large intestine is absorb water and some salts from the undigested food, isn't it? We have said that our digestion gets completed in the small intestine, isn't it? And after digestion, there remains some undigested or unabsorbed food material, isn't it? So these will enter into large intestine. So what large intestine do? Large intestine absorb water and some salts from this undigested food, isn't it? And again what remains? Some waste will remain, isn't it? And this waste will move to rectum. These waste will move to rectum and stored as semi-solid fecus. Understood? And our waste material is stored as semi-solid fecus. Semi-solid fecus. So not solid, it is semi-solid, not fully solid, it is semi-solid, semi-solid fecus. And this fecus is removed through anus, the opening. The fecus is removed through anus time to time. Okay, and this process of removal of waste material from our body is called as egestion. What is egestion? The process of removal of waste material from our body is called as egestion. Spelling you not Egestion. Did you remember what is ingestion? Ingestion. Ingestion. Yes, the process of taking food into our body is called ingestion. And what is egestion? The process of removing waste material from our body is termed as egestion. Understood? So we finished the digestive system in human beings. We have discussed both the alimentary canal and along with the secretory glands which helps in digestion. So dear students, this much for today. You all go through the PDF of this chapter I have sent to you, and also do watch the videos so many times, and also write some notes also, and also I will give homework as images. Okay, bye bye, thank you.